It's one of those things which you just have to live with, right? But
And can you?
How do you go home at night and mentally detach yourself from the trauma that you see?
it's easy once you get used to it. Is that it's episodic care. In other words, we have this massive surge, and remember, most of our work is mundane. Most of the stuff is just older people, breathing difficulties. Main complaint, for instance, is abdominal pain. We have these big spots where suddenly all your adrenaline goes, the bat phone goes. You've got somebody who is about to die, and you're trying hard as anything else to save them.
I would be petrified of
Yeah.
going, oh, it's A when it turns out to be B, and it could be the difference between a person living or dying.
And that's one of the terrors, right? But if you do your job and follow what you've been taught, you do rule out the really bad stuff where people, shouldn't die. You do it.
That first time where you are wrong, how do you deal with that emotionally? Obviously, you are very experienced. You are a professor now. You've lived this life for a while, but there has to be that first time when it goes wrong for you. How do you prepare yourself for that? And then when it happens, how do you deal with it?
It's one of those things which you just have to live with, right?
And can you?
Well, it depends on what goes wrong, right? Now, you in the media and things like that, they have done studies of cardiac arrests, let's say, right, on television shows, and they come up with a 90+% survival. The reality is, if you have a cardiac arrest out in the street or somewhere in the normal world, you have a 10-20% chance, if you're lucky, maybe even less than 10, that you will survive that. So one of the biggest problems we have is society's expectation that nobody should die, and that's not valid.